Get ready to improve your mindset, increase your skill set, and expand your network. Follow along as the CEO of Master Networks brings you over a decade of business networking experience. Welcome to Word of Mouth with Chaz Wilson.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Word of Mouth. I'm so excited for today's episode. Let me introduce our guest and get right to it. Krista Mashore has been one of the top 1% of realtors nationwide for the last 20 years. She's done a ton of stuff with teaching and coaching and writing books. She's been a recipient of 7 Two Comma Club awards and 1 Two Comma Club X award, which is awesome. Congratulations. And 1 Two Comma Club C award for 25 plus million in online sales. But more importantly, and I can read all this, but more importantly, I met Krista in a mastermind and inner circle event, and she's just amazing. So I couldn't wait to get her on the show. So Krista, you're awesome. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Word of Mouth.
I am just honored to be here. Thanks for having me. I know I was the same way with you. I was like, I like that guy. He's so smart. And so,
I'll take that. Thank you.
I'm honored to be here, and I was very impressed by you.
Oh, same. Krista, you do some amazing stuff. And as you know, and some of our listeners may or may not know, I mean, I spent 10 years in the real estate industry myself. I owned some real estate offices, mortgage and title, before I transitioned to the company that I own, Master Networks, that we do today. So I understand the industry. I'd love to know from you, just to start, kind of how did your journey start in real estate? And then where was the transition and why the drive, sort of the mission, the cause that you're in to help other real estate professionals really grow their business?
You know, I had just been being told for like a couple of years, like, you should coach. You're so, you just do things so different. You've been doing this so well. You should coach. And so one day I was like, okay, great, I'm gonna try. So I was tired. Like, I've sold over 2,300 homes in my career. My best year, I did 169 homes myself without any other agents. And the year I left to go coach, that year I did 154 units. Again, without a team, it was just me and a transaction coordinator and a marketer. And I was tired. So I was ready to and I feel that agents need this more than ever. They get into real estate or lending, to have more financial freedom and time, just to find out that they have none. And, it's one of the most lucrative businesses that you can get in, quite frankly, more so than even a doctor or an attorney or it's crazy how much money that we can make in real estate. But most agents fail. I just read an article from the National Association of Realtors, the California Association of Realtors, saying that the average agent sells under 2 homes a year. They're anticipated in 2022 to sell less than 2 homes a year. And the top 30% are selling on average of 10. I'm just like, wow, we did that easily in a month. Like, it should be more than that, But you got to be different and unique. And I think there's just so much opportunity if people are taught how to do it.
Yeah. I mean, why the disparity, you think, right? Like, is it because, and again, I come from this industry, so anything I say about the industry, I'm not speaking at it. I feel like a part of it, even though I haven't done it for 10 years. But there's kind of a low barrier to entry in many states to become a real estate agent. And so I think and I can just speak for myself and friends that I have around here right now. I have some friends who are teachers and others who've left their career because, they're like, gosh, if I'm making 50 grand a year, breaking my back, I might as well, get into real estate. Right. And sometimes the markets are such that you can do pretty well, even if the skill set isn't quite there. And so I see some of them doing that. But what do you think and what do you see as the disparity? Because I think that's probably, transfers to any industry right now. But why, it's just feast or famine in real estate?
I just recorded a video on this on Monday, and exactly what you're saying. In California, 135 hours of pre-licensing to get your real estate license, 1,600 for cosmetology. Okay.
Wow.
600 for a barber, but only 135 in real estate. So real estate agents, it's so easy to get into real estate that they don't put in the time and money investing in themselves, investing in the skill set to get where they're at. And that is, in my opinion, I think real estate agents and lenders are one of the hardest group of people to actually get to pull out their pocketbook for their education, right? Because they just,
right.
They don't really they don't treat their business like a business or as an entrepreneur. And if you can treat your business like an entrepreneur and be a marketer first, learn to be a marketer and market yourself and market your properties and get mass exposure to yourself and to your listings, then all of a sudden you're not a commodity. And if you can show what makes you so different, with the video that I recorded, basically went over, I looked at all the stats in 2021 in a certain city, and I compared the homes that we had sold in that one city within the parameters of a 2021 under an acre. We were able to show that we sold our houses on a median price point of like 21% and an average price point of like 20.6% more. It was like 170 grand, 160 grand because of what we're doing differently, right? So I don't know. I'd like it. You got to put the time in, and you got to put you got to pay attention. You got to pay to play.
Yeah, I think, and I just give my own experience, but I agree with you. And I think this is probably with any business, but I know when I got my real estate license, everything that I was, look, the schooling, the training was really good, but I was trained on really how to write a contract, how to sell a home, like that kind of thing. But there was almost zero, when I think back, training on how to run a business. Like I got my license and I thought, oh, sweet, now I can go sell homes. And what hit me really in the face was, no, now I have this practice, right? This independent practice that I'm going to now run and operate. And I had zero training in it. No, nothing. And I think that that's the case in a lot. I talk to people who are licensed as chiropractors and others. Like you now know how to treat a patient, but you don't know how to run a business yet. And do you see that happen? Is that really the need that you feel that you feel is that you like people? Let me share with you how to become a market leader. Let me share with you how to become a business owner that's successful in the practice of real estate.
1,000%. And there's 87% of agents are expected to fail within the first 5 years. And there's 6 aspects of a business. There's marketing, lead generation, lead nurture, conversion, fulfillment and delivery, and then the 5 R's. How do you get people to retain them as clients, resell with you and relist with you? And you get that through rituals and routines. And if you have one aspect off, so for example, I am a high achiever, right? I like to be liked. I like my people to like me. Okay. So my clients have an amazing customer experience and they love me. But there was times when I'd see a past client at Walmart or whatever, and they're like, Krista, we just bought a house. And I'm like, great, but you didn't use me, because I let them forget about me because I wasn't nurturing, staying top of mind, remarketing to them. Right. And that's happened to all of us. So once you can focus on all the aspects of the sales cycle. And I believe that marketing is one of the most absolute best, because the more exposure I have, the more leverage I have, I don't necessarily have to be the best, right? I cannot be the best agent in the world, but if I got more leverage, more chances, more opportunities to convert, I'm going to probably make more money. So if I can get down the marketing piece and then I can generate leads, well, the better my marketing is, the higher quality leads that I'm going to generate. But then even more importantly, the higher I need to nurture them, right? Once I nurture them, because the National Association of Realtors shows that buyers on average take 3 to 6 months to start thinking about, like, and doing research prior to taking action. And you want to be showing up during that 3 to 6 months. If they're only thinking about you right when it's time, you're too late. You want them showing up and nurturing the whole time. So if you market correctly, you're going to generate higher quality leads. Now, if you nurture those leads appropriately, conversions are so much easier, and then you maintain the customer a lot longer. Then you give them an amazing experience, and then you make sure that they still do not forget about you. You're top of mind. They're referring you like you are their person, because it's impossible to be forgotten, because I call them my students community market leaders, right? You're the community market leader of your area. Anytime somebody thinks about real estate or lending or escrow, they should be thinking about you, because you are making it impossible for them not to.
So good. And I just, before I move to the next topic, and I just want to point, anyone listening to this, whether you're in real estate or not, is irrelevant, because what she just shared, what Krista was teaching and talking about, is transferable in any industry, any business, right? These are principles and foundational disciplines in business that transfer into any business. So it's powerful. The thought I had, though, and I don't know this, so that's why I'm asking you, are you still selling real estate today as well while you're coaching?
I love you said that. So we did, I think my gross commissions last year was in 2020 was 1.4 million, 1.5 million.
Wow.
I do it about 5 hours a month. So I am like the face of the business, my systems and processes, and the marketing that we do. I've got a full-time transaction coordinator. My brother acts as me. He's in the videos with me, and I'm just kind of like the face of the business. Love it. So, he didn't sell. I think we did like 63 transactions, which for me is like, I've never done that low. Yeah. I'm kind of a little bit of a workaholic, and Josh likes, taking time off and being with the family. He's like family, working out, church, and then work. And I'm like work, family,
Yeah.
But
it's all good.
Yeah. So, but we're still doing great. But my main focus is coaching agents across the country. And now we do more in a month in coaching agents than we do in a whole year in real estate.
Yeah. First of all, you've done phenomenal. I mean, in the short time that I've gotten to know you, and be around you and interact. I'm fascinated. First of all, I want to compliment you on a couple things. So the first time I met you and you got on stage and talked, like, your energy is so, what's the word? Contagious. Thank you. Contagious. It's so contagious. And so like, I was trying to take notes. So I'm trying to listen to what you were saying, cause I'm just a student all the time and I'm listening to you, but I'm also like, man, I don't feel like naturally, this is where I'm going with the question. I don't feel like I'm naturally wired that way. I'm a little bit more low key. And so what I wanted to ask you, because this question comes up a lot on our episodes, we get a lot of questions and it rolls into this whole extrovert introvert thing, which I'm going to ask you about in a second. But do you think it's naturally that your energy is high like this, or is it something you've worked on over time? Because it comes across very natural.
I get that question a lot. So, okay, first of all, did I tell you this? And I haven't lived at home since I was 13. Did I talk about that?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah. So I have had, and I say this with grace. I didn't tell this to people until about 2 years ago. I was really ashamed of it, embarrassed, and quite frankly, I have an amazing mother, and I love her so much, and she's really helped me heal. But there was some abuse going on when I was younger from my mom. I had a severe learning disability, highly insecure. Wet the bed until I was 10.
Wow.
I mean, I've absolutely worked on my mindset and who I am. And I started running away at 13. I have not lived at home since I was 13. I was in juvenile hall, group homes, foster homes, all the way until I graduated. And then I got kicked out once I graduated because the money wasn't coming in anymore. And they were doing it for the money. So it is 100% a mindset thing. I think my biggest power, super honestly, is like in encouraging people, inspiring people to take action and helping people like with their mindset. That's by far my biggest, people think it's everything else that I do, which is great, but if I help them with their mindset and their belief that they can do it and the belief in themselves and the belief in the tool. And then I continue to inspire and encourage them. It's something that I choose. Like I know that enthusiasm sells, confidence sells. I know that what I have to offer people absolutely 1,000% need, and they are not going to be able to do it without me. So the more that I can convey that and show up that way every single day. Like yesterday I had a root canal. All right. I had an emergency root canal. Like tooth pain is the worst. And I just said, I got up in the morning and I said, okay, your appointment is not till 3:15. I did like 3 live trainings, 2 podcasts. And I was like, you're going to be great. Right. I couldn't take any pain medicine. They said no Tylenol because we want to really be able to see how much pain you were in. But I mentally said to myself, you're going to kick ass today. You're going to rock this. You got this. You're showing up. And I annihilated the day. But it was because I chose to, right? I wanted to, like, my body was saying, my mouth was saying, oh my God, like, pull your tooth out right now, jump back in bed. This is all a matter of, and I'll tell you, you do not have to be, like, I am an extrovert now, okay? But if you can be an introvert, and we teach people this all the time, as long as you're confident about what you're saying and you're enthusiastic. Enthusiasm and being an introvert are 2 different things, but the more enthusiastic and confident that you are, the more he who has the most conviction wins the debate. Now you add some enthusiasm onto that. I will tell you that being enthusiastic and having energy has made me millions and millions and millions of dollars.
I believe that wholeheartedly. I think that's a great point. I think, I kind of draw the conclusion. I've talked about this in many other episodes that sometimes I think the way we think about what an extrovert and an introvert is also the problem, right? So where I think that I'm an introvert is actually because that's where I get energy, meaning I can show up to a lot of people when they think I'm an extrovert, right? They see me out and they see me doing things, networking, etc. But for me to get energy, I need those few hours by myself to sort of recenter and all of that kind of thing. And so where there's lots of people who love to be out with others, and that's how they get their energy, right? That's how they regroup. That's how they, draw up that energy. And so I think some of that is these stories we tell ourselves about what it really means to be an introvert and extrovert. Let me transition to something, because what I know to be true, and I talk about all the time, and the title of this is word of mouth, right? That networking, the word of mouth referrals, the growth. You talk about being a market leader. Let me ask you this from a tip standpoint. What is a tip that you would give any business owner, any business leader right now to say, and especially in this environment, this business environment, to help them grow their network? What's something that they could do? Because I believe relationships are the key. I believe relationships are the way we grow. I think relationships is the best strategy. It is the best tactic. It is the best thing that we can do to grow a business. What's a tip that you have used, or what's something that you lead by in building relationships that's helped you grow your business?
This is a great question. And I think for what I'm going to say for your audience and what you teach and offer, this is going to help put their business on steroids. Now, with that being said, it's not an easy thing. People are uncomfortable by it because they're afraid of, they're afraid they're going to make a mistake, or what people are going to think about them, or they're too old, or they're too young, or they don't like their accent, or they, are going to be made fun of, or people aren't going to like them. Utilizing video content to develop relationships and properly distributing it in their local areas. Okay. And that's how I've built 2 multi-million-dollar companies, and we're very well on our way to building a third. It is by taking video content, figuring out what my community needs, what problems they're having, so I can be the solution, adding as much value as possible, creating video content, getting that in front of them over and over and over again, targeting them on Facebook, retargeting them. When you're doing this, you're literally developing a relationship. It's actually called a parasocial relationship.
Yep.
What that is research shows that our brains have been built in a way that when we see somebody on the other side of a television or a TV screen or a video or we're watching them, that we start to get to know them. We think that we know them. We cheer for them. We cry for them. We get mad at them because we're developing a relationship with them. And who are we more likely to work with? People that we have developed relationships with.
Yes.
And what happens when we have a relationship and people think they know you? Number one, you're winning before you arrive. I have a whole strategy around winning before you arrive. That term I did not coin. It came from Sharon Servati, right? I was like, oh my God, I love that. He talked about it in a different scenario, but I mean, you're winning before you arrive by creating video content and putting it in front of people, because they're developing a relationship, positioning me as the authority. I'm adding value. I'm breaking down their barriers. They're getting to know me. They're getting to like me. So now I'm going to convert them more. If I'm going up against competition, my chances of getting the sale were increased tenfold just before they even made the call, because they already kind of made the decision up that they liked me.
Yes.
Now I add value to that. I help them. And then there's so many other things that you can do to like just make sure you get it. But that's just like one, right? I'm winning before I arrive. I'm developing that relationship. And then I'm making it to where I'm unforgettable. I'm memorable. I'm nurturing. I'm doing all these things at any given time. My number one thing I tell everyone is create video content as consistently as possible and correctly distribute it. It's called, you got to commit to consistently producing content correctly so you can make a connection, so you can convert more customers and clients in your community, right? The 8 C's, 9 C's. Like if you can do that, commit constantly producing content, getting out there correctly, distributing it right, you're going to convert more. And it's like hands down one of the best things for any business. I don't care if you're escrow, title, real estate, mortgage lender, it works fabulously.
Well, I mean, we have people, I agree. We have people in our community who are plumbers and HVAC and all that stuff. And they're nationally recognized because of the video content that they do. And I couldn't agree more. I recently, as you know, I partnered with Scott Simpson at Video Marketing World. I mean, I invested in that company and became his partner because I could see where business owners are missing that piece. They're like, and Scott and that business was there for it, and that's what they do. And so I agree. I think that is like so powerful and so important. Krista, before I go further and ask you a couple more questions, how can people find you? How can they connect with you on social media, et cetera? Where can they look for you?
Yeah, you can just go to Krista Mashore, it's with a K, Krista Mashore, Mashore.com. But I have a 3-day virtual event that I do every month, and I would love to tell them about it. It's right now it's on special for $47. If you just go to KristaMashore.com/bootcamp podcast, again, KristaMashore.com/bootcamp podcast. I do a 3-day virtual event. We go heavy into digital marketing, video, social media, content, how to get comfortable, what to say,
awesome.
The strategy behind it. It's 3 full days. It's $47, and it's virtual. And we have usually between 400 and 500 lenders and agents and realtors and other professionals that go to that every month. And we teach them how to have a unique value proposition and to become unforgettable in their industry. So they can go to that. And well, I'll tell you this, you said something. You said we have plumbers and all these different people.
Yeah.
I want you to think about in your area, if for every profession, real estate agent, lender, plumber, bug killer, whatever it might be, if one person doesn't come to mind, they're not marketing correctly. In my county, like there is no one that does not know Krista Mashore, because I make it to where it's impossible not to know me, right? Everyone knows me in my city because I'm marketing. Your job is to become the community market leader in your in your area. Anytime somebody thinks about your community or fill in the blank, real estate, mortgage, escrow, they should be thinking about you, and they already know you're that person.
Totally.
And when you do this appropriately, you're going to get more referrals, more repeat business. You're going to retain more business. You're going to close more. It's insane what it can do for you, and it works for any industry. But the best part about it is it works so good for service-based businesses, totally. Especially real estate lending. It's amazing how effective it is.
Yeah, it's, first of all, great piece of advice, and I think for everyone listening to think about that is like this is the key. This is the thing to think about in your market. You are like Krista said, you want to be the market leader and utilize the network that you have created. And if you haven't created it, it's not too late. Like, it's important to go out and create it, because this network will insulate you. They will also then promote you and talk about you. Like, it's one thing for you to have to do all the heavy lifting in promoting yourself. That's part one. Part two is then you leverage your network to help them, help you promote yourself as well. And that's important. There's all kinds of things we teach about that, but that's really important way to do it, is leveraging your network. Krista, let me just add, first of all, there's something that I've noticed about successful people, and I saw this of you, right? So I think it's an attribute and a skill set that's really powerful. And that is, the first time I met you and you were teaching and you were like giving all this great wisdom, and this is where the power of video comes through too, is you teach, you give value, and then all of a sudden people meet you, right? I don't know about you, but have you ever met somebody where like you saw them and you met them and you're like, wow, that was disappointing, right? Like, but then I met you and you were like as giving, and there's a humility and a giving and a caring that you offer, which I think comes through in all your training, but it's legit and it's real. So I just wanted to pay you that compliment publicly on this, because I think it's awesome.
I love people.
It's clear that you do. And I think that's a piece of success that you have to be authentic with, because if you're not, people sniff that out. They can tell, mm-hmm. right? Like,
big there. Time.
What's one last thing you would just, in this kind of climate and environment for business owners right now, we have people listen across the world who, from all different types of businesses, and a lot of them, quite honestly, are solopreneurs, right? So they're the first in, the last out. They're also then, maybe a single mom, or they're volunteering for their local, Cub Scouts and baseball teams and so forth. So they have a lot on their shoulders. What piece of advice would you offer to any business owner right now about sort of keeping their head up in this environment?
I would say progress, not perfection. People are always getting ready. They're always aiming, but they're not firing enough, right? They're all these excuses. Well, I'll start it when I have a green screen. I'll start it when I have the perfect outfit. I'll start it when I've got the equipment. I don't know how to edit. Just start. Everybody has a cell phone. Start creating content. Don't overthink it. And just what do you think about? What do you talk about? You talk about what the problems people are having. Go to Google and type in a question, and it's going to give you all the things people are asking. Go to answerthepublic.com and put a question. It's going to give you 8,000 different ways to answer it so you can create content on. I will just tell you that we are all the same, right? And there's like the person that is in your industry that's beating you has the same problems and the same issues that you do, but it's all about how you tackle them and how you go over, around, through. Fire. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about making mistakes, because if you do, that's a great thing, because you're learning how to do it right, and just keep going, right? You are seriously 3 feet from gold. I see people, because they don't see, we're in a world right now, Chaz, of fast and social media, and I want it now, that people try things and they don't see the results instantly, and they give up. Like,
totally.
It's so sad. You just got to fire as often as possible. You got to stick to it. You're 3 feet from gold.
Oh, I love that. Great advice. Really solid about, sticking with it. We're all about that quick answer, and there's so many things. You look at the average, you talked about the numbers in real estate, and you look at business owners who fail or those succeed. And a lot of times it's the people who just stayed, they stuck it and they stayed long enough to see some success in this. So guys, we've been truly blessed today with Krista on this podcast. Remember, if you're interested in connecting with more business owners who are like-minded, who are about service-based entrepreneurs who are looking to give back to their community, become market leaders in their community, come check us out at Master Networks. Go to masternetworks.com to learn more about us. Come join in one of our virtual or in-person chapters. because remember, you're only one relationship away from changing your future, and that can start with a local relationship in your Master Networks chapter. So again, Krista, thanks for joining us on this episode of Word of Mouth, and we will see you guys on the next episode.